Thank you for coming to the District One Advisory Board meeting tonight. Just before we get started, want to always recognize that we do live stream these, so this will be on social media. We try to connect with a broader audience than, again, the folks in this room and get more people to engage. So we'll get started off. Again, call this meeting to order at 6:03. Have you all received the agenda and reviewed it?
Yes.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for today.
So moved.
Second.
We have the motion moved and seconded for approval. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Again, the minutes, have you all reviewed the minutes of the last meeting? All right, I'll entertain a motion for that as well.
Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
We have a motion on the floor to approve
Second.
and a second.
Benny.
All right, no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we will go to our public agenda. We have no scheduled agenda items. Is there anyone here with an item they would like to discuss that had not signed up? All right, seeing none, there.
She like, you know what your kid is.
All right, please step over to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, I'm Giselle Thomas. My address is 2755 East 19th. And I am introducing myself as the Youth Advocacy Coalition Coordinator. I am a VISTA worker serving here at the Atwater Center, and we will be gathering together different organizations that work with youth to make sure that they are all communicating with each other, to make sure that we really get the word out, to make sure that a lot of our youth, especially our underprivileged youth, know that there are a lot of different resources out there, a lot of different organizations out there that they can actually participate in, that wants them to thrive and grow and to be able to learn all of the different things that they probably don't even know about. And so you can get with me or Miss Camila. Let us know all the different organizations that you've heard of. Some of them we probably already have, but just let us know, because you never know what we have and what we don't have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Welcome to the team. Thank you for being here. Hope you had fun Saturday.
I did.
All right, we will move on to staff reports and start off with fire.
Good evening, I'm Captain Ryan Gedber, Wichita Fire, over here at Station 10. Got a few things to report. Obviously, I don't have all the specific details about the 4th of July, the Independence Day reports. They did issue 133 citations, and they were working on a study to determine how effective that was, sending out the teams into the community to enforce those ordinances, and also to determine if any changes are needed to the ordinances, so that's underway. We did have a group of 10 recruits that just hit the floor July 14th, so we've got some new staff, and they are, I think, interviewing for some more here over the next couple of weeks. So, we did receive 3 new engines and a mobile air apparatus in July, so those are on track and on the streets, and we've moved some other apparatus around to get some of the engines out to some outlying stations that have been using Quince in the past, so they've got a different look on them, but they're on the streets and being used. We've got 5 fire events in the district during the month of July, at least the ones that I have reported here through July 25th. 543 North Estelle was a considerable loss, $400,000, and then 2331 East Random was a considerable loss at $80,000. A couple other smaller fires, 1516 East 3rd, I believe, 921 East Douglas, and 933 Glendale were also structured fires during the month of July. Total of 730 incidents. I wrote down just a couple of, obviously during the month of August, we still got a lot of hot weather, so be aware of that. If you see kids or pets or anything in vehicles, make sure to call, get us started and checking on them. We don't want anything bad to happen to kids, pets, any of that. School's starting back up, so be aware of the kids in the streets and crosswalks and all that, so, if you have any questions for me, that's
Any
my
questions from the dad?
Can you repeat how many incidents?
730 in District 1 during the month of July.
When can we expect that, kind of analysis of how the Fourth of July, thing went?
That is a good question. I believe that's gonna go through fire prevention. I really don't know the answer to that. I can figure it out and have it for next month if that works. They just put something out that they were gonna be working on a study, obviously, to see if what we did worked, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Did you know just in your personal estimation from last year to this year, did it seem to be as many calls as you got last year or less?
I think the hotline is really working for us because, you know, it's important that we don't tie up frontline units with fireworks calls. I mean, if there's a public hazard, or if there are injuries, or if there's a fire, we want people going to that, but I think it's important that we keep units available for those calls. So the hotline and the teams that they put on the street relieved a lot of that stress on the department. So I don't know as far as call volume, you know, were there more or less through the hotline, but I know that frontline apparatus didn't go to near as many of those. So, I mean, we were out on the streets doing patrol and all that. I know there was some tickets issued by frontline machines, but I think the heavy burden of it was through the response teams that they put on the street just for the Fourth. That part seemed to work, at least, so we'll see what the study reveals for them.
Can you spell your last name?
GADBURY.
G-A-D-B-U-R. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
I have
You
a
too.
comment before police and fire leave. Please know that the September meeting is September 10th. It's on the end of the agenda at the library. If you guys leave before we make those announcements. Due to the holiday, at the new advanced library.
Yep.
And you can take one of those agendas, it has the.
Same time?
Same time, 6 o'clock. New advanced learning library.
Awesome. Next up, we will have police. Thought you were bringing us burgers and stuff.
What? Was I supposed to?
Yeah.
Screwed up again. All right, I'm Officer Hudgens. I'm in community policing. I represent 44 Beat here on Patrol North. So you guys are in the middle of my area up here. I will give you a few stats, and there's a few things I want to talk about. Pretty much everything on North Bureau has stayed steady for the last month and as far as last year. Auto thefts we showed down within the last month, but I've noticed an increase in certain areas, especially around here. A lot of those are the mid-90s Hondas, the late 90s, early 2000s GMCs, and Chevy pickups, and then obviously the vehicles have been left running. So I think I tell you guys every time I present, make sure we're turning our cars off or get your remote start so you don't have to have the keys in it, because we're losing a lot of vehicles to people trying to cool them down before they get into them. Burglaries on Patrol North are still down for the year, so we're doing good on those. Residential burglaries are down all the way across the board, so you guys are doing a good job of looking out for each other as far as that goes. The big things that I want to talk about, we just graduated 20 new recruits, so they're going through field training right now, so that's 20 more officers that are going to be out doing patrol. We're trying to start a new class at the end of this month. Chief's trying to get between 30 and 35, and I just heard that we have 34 right now. As long as we pass everything, we'll start August 20th. So we'll be starting up, that's a pretty big class for us, so that's gonna be good to get more officers out here on the street. As far as 44 Beat, there was two things I want to talk about. Neighborhood Night Out for one, that's all the way across the city, August 14th. So if you're having something, make sure you're getting registered, because we get sent all the neighborhoods that are having those, and some of my neighborhoods are telling me they're having them, but they haven't registered them with the city. So make sure you're getting a hold of your people and say, hey, make sure they're getting registered, because officers are gonna be out all night that night, going to different events, make sure we're connecting to all the people. If they're not on the registry, we may skip them, and I don't want that to happen, so spread the word on that. Health Corps up here on 21st, they're having the grand opening, the same day on the 14th. They're inviting out all the community to come check out the new Health Corps. I got a walkthrough last week, it's pretty awesome, the stuff they're doing over there, so keep that in mind. If you got kids, you wanna stop by, go over and see the grand opening on the 14th. I will be there, and I think a couple more of my guys are gonna be there. Other than that, that's all I got. If you guys got questions?
Kristen?
The registration for, the night out, where do you get it? And
Camila can answer that, cause I don't know exactly.
I emailed it to all Neighborhood Association presidents and put it in a newsletter. I'll send it to all DABs right now, and you guys can share with anyone else you know of.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Dab? Any from the community? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
How you doing? I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Joe Kennedy. I'm lieutenant down at Patrol South. I'm assigned to Second Watch, Community Policing, Broadway Corridor Team, and our Homeless Outreach Team. So all those officers work for me. So I want to come up and introduce myself to that board and also to the citizens. I'll start out with some bad news though. This weekend down on Hydraulic in Morse, we had a shooting. We had a couple individuals that were shot. Looks like we have suspects. I'm not sure right now if investigations has any information on those suspects or not. We do know it was gang related. It occurred outside of the club, and there was a party going on at the time at the club. So all that we do ask is, we've had some shootings starting to come up, and we just ask for the community to help us, because without community, we won't always get answers. And so if somebody knows any information, even if it's kind of hearsay from one person, we just want to put it out there, just call our investigations, then our detectives can kind of backtrack that information. Hopefully we can find out, at least who the shooters were, and more information on them and why it did occur. But we talked about the neighborhood night out on August 14th. I'll let you know for Patrol South, we are also doing, because the schools start on August 14th and 15th, we're sending officers out to the schools throughout the day. And we're gonna continue throughout the year if the officers have a little bit of time, stop by the schools, talk to the kids. Because we're starting to learn a little bit more too over the times, and we've got SROs in the high schools. Well, we need our connection with the kids before they get to high school. So we're gonna have our officers at the elementary schools and middle schools, and just start talking with the kids more and showing them that we are people too. They can come up and talk to us, instead of just thinking that, when a parent says, hey, if you don't act up, or if you start acting up, we're gonna have the officers take you to jail. No, we don't. So we want the kids to understand, we're there where they can come up and talk to us. But along with Patrol North, we have the same things in Patrol South. The larceny doggos usually starts increasing a little bit more. Our group is going out with if I were a thief flyers, and we kind of learned, I was an investigations detective in larceny, and we used to go out to cars, and if we saw something in the car, we'd put a flyer on there and we'd mark what it was. And it could be anything from computers, weapons, money, we'd mark it. And we'd go on to the next car. Well, we thought about later going, if there's a thief watching us, we just mark the cars for them. So now we'll go out and put a flyer on every car, and we don't mark what we saw. Because I will tell you, one year we did it during the basketball games. We'd find the game of the week, we'd go out to the parking lot and hand out flyers all night. We did find a gun in a car at a school. Turned out it was a coach who'd been out hunting, and he left his rifle in the car. So we found out who the coach was, and we had him locked up in the office so that nobody could break into his car and steal his rifle. So, but we're doing a lot more flyers out, contacting hotspots in our areas for burglaries, larceny autos. So that's what my group, I have them out doing a little bit more. Plus we have Old Town, so that's, we were down there this last weekend, and luckily my team was down there because that allowed more officers to go to the shooting. So it helped out a little bit more down there. Questions?
Awesome. Any questions from the dad? No? Any questions from the community? Ms. Rich?
That's my neighborhood, I live about a block from there, from the Club Dream. So was that shooting inside or outside?
We were hearing it occurred outside, where the shooting was. I don't have any information if it started inside or if it was all outside in the parking lot itself, but the shooting itself was outside.
Okay, have you, found a permanent replacement for Officer Recio, or are you still using temporary people there in B 23?
Right now, on 23B, we have two officers that are working it. It's Officer Kern and Officer Chrisman. Right now, I am down a couple positions. One of my officers is injured, and he probably won't be back to work for at least 6 months. And then right now, we have an opening, but we're trying to work with the bureau that the officer works with to see if we can bring him over to our team. If not, it'll probably be about October before we start too many movements. But I've got two officers working 23B right now.
Make sure you're kind of high profile neighborhood night out.
So, and as soon as we get a little bit more information from investigations, we're gonna be out, probably doing impact meetings around the neighborhood there too, so.
Awesome. Well, one more thing for the record. I know the answer to this, but a lot of folks don't. Is there a possibility one can call 911 with information and still remain anonymous?
It's gonna be a little bit harder calling through 911. The true anonymous line is through Crime Stoppers.
So you can call Crime Stoppers, be anonymous, still
Yep.
give tips and help out,
Yep.
solve some issues.
You can always tell that you don't want personal contact from the officer. So if you say, hey, I had an incident happen, I don't need contact right now, they can call me on the phone. Because when it's a big incident anyway, we're gonna go knock every door anyway. So if there's a shooting or a drive-by or a cutting, we're gonna knock every door anyway. So we're trying to get out and spread the word that don't be afraid to call, because we're gonna knock on your door anyway.
Right.
So it's not like we're just gonna show up at your house and be like, hey, you called 911, we're gonna talk to everyone, so. Yeah, I know me and you talk about that all the time, trying to get people to call 911, and they can remain anonymous, but if it's a major scene that they were a witness to, we're gonna have to contact them one way or another, but it, most likely it'll be a phone call, we can meet at other places if they don't want us to show up at the door, but,
Right.
yeah.
And the other side of that too is a lot of people have a lot more videos around their houses. And if they have videos, we would wanna see that and get a copy of it too, so.
Did I answer it?
It does.
All right.
It does. All right. Thank you, sir.
I think.
All right, we'll move on to our library report.
And Ethan from the library. It seems like it's been a while since I've been here. The new Advanced Learning Library has opened since our last meeting. So if you have not been there, next month's meeting would be a good time to go check it out. We've got a couple events coming up at the Maya Angelou branch. August is traditionally kind of a slow programming month for us, but we do have two events coming up. And Tadana was involved with the planning of the back-to-school community celebration that we're having this coming Saturday, August 11th, 2 to 5 p.m. So I expect you to holler at me if I say something wrong. We are gonna have a DJ, a performance by the Griots, live music by Lacey Cruz, story time and crafts for the kids inside the library where it's cool, free food. Most everything will be taking place outside on the west lawn in between the library building and Patrol North. Several members of the community did all the hard work putting this together. I'm just happy, I'm just gonna be there, and enjoy it. We'll have, story time and crafts for the kids. That's all I was involved with, but it should be a real good time this coming Saturday afternoon. And then Friday, August 17th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Angelou branch, our Candid Conversations book club. The book is called The Line Becomes a River, Dispatches from the Border by Francisco Cantu. He was a former Border Patrol agent in the southwestern part of the United States, and the book is about his experiences as a Border Patrol agent. We'll be having the discussion will be led by a local immigration activist by the name of Claudia Amara, and books can be checked out at the Maya Angelou Ranch Library. We close at 6 o'clock. We'll reopen the library at 6:45 for the after-hours event.
Awesome.
And that's all I've got.
So I wanted to mention there will also be free food. I know everybody loves free food, so come and get some. But then also, we're encouraging the community to have their children or even have themselves come out and register for a library card. So if you don't have a library card, or I believe if we're doing it, if you bring your account to good standing, that you will receive a little token of appreciation. And so got a lot of coupons from local businesses and so.
Okay. And if you do need to apply for a library card, just bring in your photo ID with proof of current address. So if your ID is up to date, that's all we need. If your ID doesn't have your current address on it, just bring in a bill or something that's got your current address on it. We'll send you inside to get your library card. I'll have flyers and calendars and stuff outside and any sort of giveaways I can scrounge up. And then we'll send you inside to get a library card.
Awesome.
Okay.
Any questions from the dad?
Yes.
Just what is there an age group for Saturday?
It's the whole family. It's all ages. There won't be anything that's inappropriate for children
Right.
going on.
Awesome. Any questions from the community? All right, thank you so much. Looking forward to Saturday. All right, we will move on to the illustrious Park and Rec. And while she's coming up, we had Lynette Woodard over, I mean, not Lynette Woodard. At Lynette Woodard, we had Jackie Joyner Kersey. And that was amazing to see Jackie Joyner Kersey over at Lynette Woodard, and remembering her from the Olympics and what an inspiration she was. And she was right there at our own Lynette Woodard Center. So, Angela.
Thank you. You stole one of my highlights.
I did. I had to.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Let me check it off. That's one more thing I don't have to say. Yay. Angela Buckner, Park and Recreation Department. I'm going to introduce our new superintendent for Park and Recreation, Mr. Reggie Davidson.
Welcome.
Just wanted to come over and have an opportunity to meet you guys, and I'm excited about being here in the community. I have a great team that I'm working with here. I'm excited about being here and looking forward to seeing what we can do to make an impact and reach out to the community, get young people involved in some positive things to keep them on the right path. So I know